Hey everybody, today I'll be taking a look at Overlords, the card game, which is a fast drafting game. Let's quickly look at how it plays. You get this deck of cards with all kinds of creatures in them. I will explain them later in the video. It's very easy. You just deal out 8 of these cards to every player in a 3-player game. There's this overview card, which you can see in the 3-player game. You will play 3 rounds with 8 cards in each hand. In a 4-player game you will only play 2 rounds with 9 cards in every hand. So I will show a quick 3-player game. So 3 rounds of each player gets 8 cards. It's very easy. A player will look at his cards, select one that he wants to recruit. Every player does so simultaneously, and you simultaneously reveal. So now those cards are part of their army, and then you pass your hand of cards to the left, so players pass the remaining cards, and again they simultaneously select one card, simultaneously reveal, and you put it on top, so you only know the top cards of every army. And again, pass to the left, simultaneously reveal. And this is basically how you play a whole round. Just revealing, selecting simultaneously, revealing simultaneously, and building up an army. And like I said, in a 3-player game you do this for 3 rounds of 8 cards, and then at the end you will count up the scores. So and that's how one round plays. So as you can see, it's very quick and very easy. Let me explain how the different monsters score. So I'll zoom in a little bit. These skeleton warriors, this is one that's worth 3 points. So there are 1, 2s and 3s, and if you get a set you get +6. So if you get a set of 1, 2, 3, they score 12. This is a 2-pointer. Ortus scores 7 points if you have a set of 2, and otherwise it's 2 points for every Ortus. So let's say you have 3 of them, then your set of 2 will score 7, and your third will only score 2, so you get 9 for the 3 of them. So you try to make sets of 2. Zombies, as you can see, 1 scores 1, if you have 2 they score 4, 3, 9, 4, 12, 5, 18, and if you have 6 zombies they score 24 points. So the more the better. Cyclops, if you only have 1 you score 6, but if you have more than them you only score 2 points for every Cyclops. Minotaurs are easy, just the player who has the most of them gets 24, the second gets 16, and the third gets 8. Chimeras, you have to make sets of 3. With a set of 3 scores you 12, and else you get 2 points for every. The Hydras work like the zombies, 1 scores 3, 2 scores 7, and so on. And I think that's all of them. So that's how they work, and as you can see it's very easy. Now this game has a memory aspect, as you can imagine, because when you're drafting you only see your top cards. So what you're trying to do is with Chimeras you want sets of 3, so either try to get 3 of them, 6 of them, 9, and so on. Zombies, you really want 6 of them, but not more, because Ortus you want to make sets of 2, and so on. So you really have to, Cyclops you only want 1 of them. So you have to remember what you have in your pile as you're building up this army, and you try to remember what other players have. Now there's also these hired hand cards, which I haven't explained yet. So normally there are 14 of them, there are 7 kinds, and there's 2 of each kind. You will shuffle 7 of them in the deck. You can choose 7 randomly, so you don't know which ones will be in the deck and which ones won't, or you can choose 1 of every kind and shuffle them in the deck. Now how they work, you don't put them on top of your army. So if a player has an army already and he takes a hired hand, you just put it next to your army, not on top. And again, pass, and if you get another hired hand, also next to your army. So these stay next to you, and you can, at the start of a turn, before players draft a card, so before they select, you can use them. You can use their ability 1 time, and well, some of them 1 time, some pass to another player, and then that player can use them. Let me explain them real quick. As you can see, the thief lets you take the top card, lets you swap this card with the top card of another player's army. So you can take another player's top card and he gets the thief, so he can use the thief in a later turn. So that's really handy if you see that chimera you really want the third chimera. You steal it from that player and you screw that player over a bit, because now he also has to get a new chimera. The Lich King lets you opponents reveal their hands and you may swap any or all hands. So it's self-explanatory. Players reveal their hands and you can swap the hands. So you can swap the hand to another player, so you can recruit from that hand. Can be really nice. Medusa is really nasty. Everybody shows their hands and you have to choose which one they have to play. So all players reveal their hands and you can really screw your opponents. You can force people to take that second Cyclops. As you saw, Cyclops scored 6 if you have one, but if you have several you only score 2 points for every Cyclops, so that's pretty painful. Sorcerer is a fun card. You make all the top cards of the armies, swap them clockwise or counterclockwise. So if you have 3 armies, one with a zombie on top, one with a chimera on top, over here, and an Ortus on top. If these are the 3 armies and you play your sorcerer, you can choose to make these swap clockwise, or you can make them go counterclockwise. So that's a fun card to help yourself and also screw some opponents. There are Black Knights, Red Knights and Blue Knights. The Black Knight is that you can this turn recruit 2 cards from your hands, but you have to place the Black Knight back into the hand, so the hand stays equal size, but you can get to recruit 2. If you really want some Minotaurs, you have a hand with 2 Minotaurs, you just recruit 2 at the same time, and you put this Black Knight in the hand, so a next player can again recruit a Black Knight. The Red Knight lets you look through an army and you can choose which card you put on top. So this is nice for just checking an army, maybe your own army, because sometimes you will forget how many Chimera did I already have a Cyclops. You can use it for that. You can use it in combination with, for example, the Sorcerer. You can look at a deck, make a player put a certain card on top and then play a Sorcerer. So that's a fun card. The Blue Knight is you can recruit any card from the draw pile and then you shuffle the Blue Knight back into the draw pile. So the cards that haven't been dealt out, you can just go and find the card you need with the Blue Knight. And I explained already the Thief and the Lich King. So those are the 7 hired hands. And that's how the game plays. There's also this Overlord card which you will add to one hand. And all this does is if several players want to use a hired hand on the same turn, the player with the Overlord card goes first, or the player sitting the closest to the Overlord card, he gets to go first. So that's how to determine who goes first if several players want to play a hired hand card in the same round. And that's how the game plays, so it's really easy. Just to repeat, so normally you shuffle in 7 of those hired hands in this deck, and then you will just each get a hand of 8. You simultaneously select, pass the hand, and of the next hand you also simultaneously choose one and reveal, and you're building up an army. You got some hired hands that can help you, and that's how the game plays. So as you can see, it's really quick, it's easy to explain, play really flows. You have to, most important is trying to remember your own deck, because you really want to make sets of 3 with Chimera, sets of 2 with Ortus and so on, because the game is really tight. Either way, I didn't mention, but if you get stuck on the end with hired hand cards, they are also still worth 2 points at the end of the game. And you know, most cards, even if you don't make sets like Ortus and Chimera, are worth 2 points. So actually at the end of your game, like in a 3-player game, you will have 8 times 3, so you will have 24 cards normally. Most of the time, the hired hands can change it a bit, but you'll have 24 cards and all of them are at least worth 2 points, mostly. One zombie can be 1 and there's one skeleton warrior that's only 1, but most of the time, you know, there will be at least 2 points. And if you have made sets, like here, if you make a set of 2, they are both worth actually 3.5, because you score 7 for 2. And in Chimera, if you can make a set of 3, you score 12, so you actually scored 4 points. So you really gotta make these sets. The more sets you make, the better. And if you the zombies and the hydras, you just need many of them, because only one zombie will give you only 1 point, so that's really bad. Cyclops, you want only one, then that's 1 card that gives you 6 points. If you get several, again you still get 2 for every card, but that's almost always the case. So you really have to remember how many Chimera do I have, how many Ortus do I have, how am I on the Minotaurs, because getting most Minotaurs also gives a lot of points. So there's the memory aspect, and normally I'm not a big fan of memory aspects in game. I don't like it that much, but in this game it really works, because if your army would have been completely open information, first of all, it would be too easy, and it would be a math game. Like, players will calculate, I don't want to give, he has 1 Ortus, I don't want to give him that. You can calculate everything because all the information is open. Now, when it's a memory, because of the memory aspect, and you don't know what a player has in his army, or you have to remember it, but it's impossible to remember everything, I say focus on your own deck. That will already be hard enough. Makes it really fun. I enjoy the memory aspect in this game, and it's a really quick and fun little card drafting game. Yeah, I have to compare this probably to Fairy Tail, not Seven Wonders, which is also a famous drafting game, but it's Seven Wonders is with more players, it's longer, it's complex. I wouldn't really compare it. It is comparable to Fairy Tail, which is also a quick, fun little card drafting game. So how does it compare to that? I must say I like them both. I'm gonna rate this a 7, and I think I would also rate Fairy Tail a 7. They're different because Fairy Tail doesn't have that memory aspect, but there you draw 5 and you only have to play 3 of them. So you can easily draw cards just to screw your opponents that they don't get them, and because you don't have to play everything you draft. So that's, and Fairy Tail has this simultaneously flipping over and you can hunt. But that's Fairy Tail, but it's also drafting, but completely different, because this is drafting with memory and that's drafting with some other mechanics. But it's it's different, but it's about the same amount of fun, I guess. I like them equally. So if you like drafting games, this is a great choice. It's very fun, like I said, explained in 5 minutes, played in 20 minutes probably. Really fast, fun little game. The hired hand cards are great. They make there some interaction, some screwage. They make the game interesting and fun. So that's my overview of Overlords. Fun little card drafting game, which I really recommend if you're into this kind of thing. So thanks for watching. See you guys later.